So I was reading a article about Donald Trump talking about the White House event. And oh, don't trip! I'm wearing my WrestleMania shirt right now, and it's not merch. I don't only rock the merch. All right, it's not all about money. I was reading an article about the White House event, and you already know I'm down with it. I'm not trying to pick, trying to poke holes in it, trying to find anything to complain about, nothing like that. However, I did feel like this heater's not hitting today. I did scratch my beanie a little bit when I saw that Donald Trump made the statement that there was going to be like 8 or 9 title fights during the event. And first of all, look, I kind of feel like if you're already going to do this thing at the White House and you already have the clearance and whatever, that you could pretty much be in control of when it goes down. And I'm going to be honest, I am frankly disappointed that it's no longer going to be a 4th of July event. The Independence Day, that was like the whole, like, maybe I'm not going to say it is the selling point, because it's not like it loses all of its appeal if that aspect goes away. But that was huge. I mean, we're talking about, unless they started to get a little iffy on the United States versus UK thing. Like, we don't know how it's going to go. If we can't get John Jones and we think he's unreliable and we have to go with Derek Lewis, we never know if he's going to come in the cage with those shingles. We don't know if he's going to come to the cage with those back cramps. We never know which Derek Lewis we're going to get. So maybe they don't feel like comfortable relying on it. And then if they get Waldo, it's going to be an American versus a Brit or nothing, at least not 4th of July. So then Donald Trump's like, all right, let's do it on my birthday. Flag Day. So whatever. It already lost that aspect, which to me, entertainment-wise, content-wise, hook-wise, angle-wise, being able to put some funnies on it, there was a whole lot that could ride off of it, being a Independence Day kind of thing, especially if it was headlined by an American and a Brit. That would have been so cool. But whatever, here's where we're at now. And it's going to be in June sometime now, I guess. I don't know when Flag Day is. Sometime in June, I believe. And Donald Trump was saying that there's going to be 8 or 9 championship fights. And he was saying that he's been talking with Dana White about this, and that Dana White is actually specifically holding back certain fights just for this event, which is kind of dirty. I mean, on one hand, yes, we do want the White House event to be as packed as it could be, go full freak show, make it as stacked as possible. But at the expense of people that are ready and willing right now, at the expense of people that are healthy and can get trained and go through a good camp right now, at the expense of, especially just going to Paramount right now and needing the big fights right now. It's kind of weird. It's not really fair to the fighters. And to be honest, there are a good amount of fighters that don't care about the whole White House thing, that would be more than happy to fight as soon as possible, but they're being held back. Now, I know we already kind of have seen Dana White doesn't like Sarukian. Does not like that dude. But it does kind of prompt you to think, like, maybe not in Sarukian's case, but just hypothetically speaking, let's say maybe Dana White knows exactly what he's doing. And even though he's kind of dropping hints here and there, he's not always super forthcoming about why he's doing what he's doing. Maybe, if we're going to be super optimistic and give that full the benefit of the doubt, maybe he's holding back certain fighters like Sarukian to save him for the White House. That would be more exciting potentially. Imagine Gaethje gets past Pimblett, and then Gaethje loses to Ilya. Now we get Ilya and Armin at the White House. That's a good fight. Or what if Gaethje gets past Pimblett, and then Gaethje knocks out Ilya, and we get Gaethje and Armin at the White House? Probably not as good of a fight. But people like Gaethje. It's not as good of a fight, but people like Gaethje. Gaethje does have some good takedown defense, though. Gaethje cannot be entirely. Like, I like to have some fun with it, and he is a walking haymaker. He is a rock'em sock'em, but I have to be real. He does have some fantastic takedown defense, and if somebody that could land blows like that dude, if his takedown defense is on point that night, it's kind of like Peter Yan and Merab all over again. Yan wasn't letting that dude take him down, and then he was landing. If Gaethje could do that, there's a chance there. But anyway, I'm getting distracted. Dana White's holding fights back that we should be having right now for the White House event. But still, 8 or 9. There's currently, as far as I can see, 11 active divisions in the UFC right now. Men's flyweight, bantamweight, featherweight, lightweight, welterweight, middleweight, light heavyweight, and heavyweight. And then women's strawweight, flyweight, and bantamweight. So out of 11 divisions, there would have to be 8 or 9 championship fights. I would be having like every single division active and busy. I don't think we've ever seen that many championship divisions at once in one event going at it for a title. And I actually don't think that that's what is being talked about here. I don't think Dana White or anybody at the top at the UFC is eager to throw this many championship title fights onto one event. Frankly, it's not good long term for the company. It's very short-sighted to just stack one event like that. And I believe that's why they're starting to make the type of moves that they're making right now. I think we're being weaned right now. It's a big weaning process. I think that they're trying to acclimate us to something. And it's not a very recent thing. We've been getting interim fights for quite a few years now. It's not a brand new thing. The BMF is a little bit more brand new. And what's even more brand new than the BMF is the fact that they're now extending it beyond what was supposed to just be a one-time thing, what was supposed to just be Nate Diaz and Jorge Masvidal. Now they're just doing it over and over. And I think it was DC, you know, the company man of all company man, that proposed it, that suggested, why don't we have a BMF title for every single weight division? And hold up, I apologize for getting distracted. Of course, we make fun of it and we crack jokes about how these titles aren't real. I mean, it's bad enough when you're building things around interim titles. And, you know, I understand if sometimes we have to have something like an interim title if somebody is legitimately hurt, if somebody's having a procedure, if somebody, whatever, so on and so forth and etc. But if we're clearly just lollygagging and we're letting dudes roam around Spain with these shenanigans, partying it up, showing up on all this social media, living the life, doing all this stuff, all the while they're acting heartbroken just so they could run the clock, just so that they could run the clock and let these other bridesmaids duke it out so that they could put some age, they could put some miles on Arman Tsarukyan. And like I said earlier in my live stream today, make that fool have to fight for the BMF title. They're probably going to feed him the winner of Max Holloway and Charles Oliveira. Make him fight them for the BMF title and put that stain on his reputation. Oh, he's a dude fighting for the BMF now? Just people at the top controlling the strings and informing the narrative. The White House is claiming that it's going to boast 8 or 9 championship fights. And I have a feeling that these are going to consist of things like interim title bouts, BMF title bouts, and I mean B-O-U-T-S, bout, as in a bout, not a bout like you wear around your waist, not that kind of bout, like a championship bout. And then I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility for them to have something like a Legends battle. We've been hearing a lot of talk about Ronda Rousey. And Dana is making the claim that she's not coming back to, like to get in the rankings and do the nah, she's not doing that. He's very delicate about the way he answers the question. No, she's not coming back to the UFC. She's not okay, but she might be coming back for a Legends battle. She might be coming back to do, 2 rounds. She might be coming back to do 2.5 rounds with Miesha Tate, grappling only or something like that. We might see a Rousey and a Miesha Tate. We might see a Rousey and a Cyborg. We might see a Rousey and a Whoopi Goldberg, for all we know. They might mix it up a little bit. They got to bring in some of the stars. We might see Michael Chiesa versus like Michael B. Jordan, like as Apollo Creed Jr. We might see Tito Ortiz and Chuck Liddell Savin. We might see Ken Shamrock and Royce Gracie come back in and do the thing again. And hopefully this time Royce Gracie won't cheat and do some disgusting groin shots and get away with it. I'm anticipating that they are going to carry this freak show to full term, that it's going to be everything that we could hope that it would be. I don't think that they're going to have 8 or 9 championship fights as in traditional championship fights. They're going to have to look for some funky hybrids. They're going to have to make something up that, like, once upon a time, the BMF was supposed to be a one-time thing. I think they're going to do that for this event for sure. I think we're going to be seeing some newly designed titles that represent different things that we've never seen before. I think we might see our first intergender fight. We might see Jamal Hill versus Joanna Jędrzejczyk. I do not think it's out of the realm of possibility. I think we might see a handicap match. We might see, what's a good example? Khabib. No, that's disrespectful. We might see, what's something that I'm not gonna regret? We might see Craig Jones and Volkanovski versus See, I'm trying to make a good example, but I don't want to disrespect anybody because it would be disrespectful to say Craig Jones and Volkanovski against Makhachev, because Volkanovski already beat Makhachev on his own, and I don't want to disrespect Volkanovski. But you see what I'm saying? We might see a Royal Rumble. We might see a couple politicians get in there. I don't think that is great if they're holding back any fights for this event, but I have a gut feeling that more so than doing that, they have other things in mind that we're not even able to anticipate, or at least the masses aren't able to anticipate right now. But below this beanie, I could see them getting real freaky with this freak show.